What's up,
What's up?
everybody?
How you doing?
Yeah. Welcome to the
L.A.B Africa podcast.
So this is where we interview and bring on board or bring on into the studios incredible, amazing artists and entrepreneurs on the continent.
Yes.
They share their stories with us, their journey, and hope to encourage us as
Yeah.
young entrepreneurs on the continent. And I'm your host, Martinson.
And I'm Judah Domino.
And as you can see, we have in the studio here our big bro,
Yeah.
Paakwesi M.A. Yeah. So Mensah-Aborampah, but M.A. is the brand, you know. Yeah. And today we're going to be talking about his business, the M.A. worldwide. It's M.A. shoes.
MA clothing. We intend going into clothes as well.
Oh, okay, great. Oh, great. So yeah, so now it's M.A. clothing.
Yeah.
Worldwide. I want
Yes.
to add that to it.
Worldwide. Today we are
Yeah. And before we get into it, to know more about brother KC or Kwesi for the local guys, and for the foreign guys, KC.
Yeah.
Let's hear from our sponsors. Okay,
Yeah.
Charlie, welcome to the studio, man.
Thanks,
Welcome.
thanks.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm blessed.
So,
Even so, man. Even so. Charlie, I've been looking forward to this podcast for a while, actually, since last year. When I was talking to your cousin and then he mentioned your shoe brand, and I started scrolling through. I was like, yo, man, Charlie, these shoes be killer.
Thanks.
Like, they be tight. Like, they be tight shoes. I was like, I've actually been saving so that you make a new shoe for me.
with this kind of economy, we hope you are fine.
Yeah.
Because
Very.
so you know what's amazing about you guys? So Ellie from last season. Right?
Yeah. No, the first season. Yeah.
That's his cousin. So it's like they have a family full of entrepreneurs and creatives.
And an artist, in this
Like
family.
it's amazing how you guys do it.
It's in the jeans.
So it's in the jeans, please. Like I think I need a new one. Can I borrow yours?
Oh man.
Yeah, it's just amazing to have you here, Casey, on this podcast.
Thanks for having me.
And so just before we get into asking more about your business and can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I am Paakwesi Mensah-Aborampah. I'm hitting 40 very soon.
Woo!
Nice.
So I'll be 39 this year.
Wow.
Yes,
Lovely.
yes, and I'm currently a law student. Hopefully, I'll be a lawyer this year.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up.
And my passion is art. My passion is fashion, and that's the reason for the business MA Clothing.
Okay.
Basically, I have 2 children, 2 boys, married. Yeah, so that's and I love Ghana and Africa.
Oh, nice.
Wow,
Oh,
nice.
cool.
Nice. Then, like you're the right person for the podcast.
Yeah.
So you said you're pursuing law now. So because you love fashion, so do you want to be a fashion lawyer or a creative?
So really, so it's a cocktail of passions. I have a passion for law. I have a passion for fashion as well.
Oh, nice.
So if Michelangelo did a bit of science, did a bit of art, I think we could fuse everything we love.
True.
Nice.
Yeah.
True.
Nice. Okay. Cool. And so you hope to do them both like a full-time thing?
Yes, definitely.
Nice.
Definitely.
All right. We'll definitely talk about how you're managing all of that.
Yeah.
We'll get into the time management aspect of it.
Okay.
So, just give us a little bit of background, like because in our earlier conversation, like just before we got into the recording of the podcast, you mentioned like the arts being in the family. Just can you give us a bit of background for our audience to know?
Okay, so I grew up loving art. Didn't study art anyway, but I grew up loving it. Instead of studying, I found myself scribbling. So it's been part of me. My parents have complained. I just love creating. I just love creating things by myself. It's never been about the money, really.
Okay.
So like I was saying before, we used to make bags.
Yeah.
So we sew up these bags, and we were barely paid for them. But there was this time I I don't know if you guys remember, there was this steel bridge in Nkrumah Circle, Kwame Nkrumah Circle, before the overpass.
Yeah.
So I was passing by this guy, and he was wearing one of my knapsacks.
Oh.
And they passed by me, and this guy didn't know me from anywhere. So I turned around, and I felt so good. Like I made something somebody's wearing, and he doesn't even know I'm the creator. So that's what motivates me with all of these.
Wow.
Just
That's a
creating
nice one.
things other people get to wear.
Wow.
That's a show.
So which means you started from bags.
Yes, shirts and then bags.
Shirts and bags.
Yes.
Then so at which points in your life, like were you in high school? Were you
Yeah, so straight out of high school, I started with the shirts. So
with the shirts?
instead of screen printing, we did embroidery with our hands,
Wow.
needle and thread. So we cut out these what do you call it? This, you see these foamy things. So we cut them out as a bag, sew around them to look 3D-ish, 3D embroidery. So that's how we started. People bought their shirts, we customized them however they wanted it customized. So that's how it started. It grew into bags, and then gradually the shoes also came.
So which year was it?
This was like, I finished SS 201.
Oh.
Yeah, so this was like, I think 202, 203. Yes.
The shoe part?
No, the shirt part.
Okay.
The shirt part. So the shoes came in around 2011.
All right.
Yes, 2011.
Okay. Wow. That's been a while. So
Yeah.
that would have been more than 10 years
Yeah,
now.
more than
10
10
years
years.
now.
Yeah.
That's good. So can you just now give us a bit of how you started with the shoe? How did the shoe come into being?
Okay, so I had these Adidas which were going old, so I had to cut out jeans, cover it up, and everybody liked how it turned out. So sewed it up. The Adidas was it? You see, that kind of looks like a Cortez, Nike Cortez. So I had to patch it up with denim, and then it looked good. Everybody liked it. I thought, I had ideas for shoes looking better than the manufacturers made them. So I started designing them myself. Got to know a few people in Kumasi who could bring my ideas to life. So that's how they basically started.
Wow. So you kind of had idea and you could do it, but you also needed some people to help you bring that to life. I think that is one thing that a lot of entrepreneurs we kind of find challenging, like
very challenging,
finding the right people to help you bring your ideas to life. So how did you manage that? How did you find them, and how were you able to manage to communicate your ideas to bring it?
And that's a difficult thing in Ghana, you know, especially with this technical people, or our local technical people. They have their own ideas of how things should be done. So you go for these jewelry people, they say this is not, even though you've seen something well done abroad, they have their own mindset towards things. This is how they've done it since the grandmaster started teaching them. So you bringing something new, especially when you have no background, has always been a problem. So in Kumasi, we send, this is how they are done. So it's always been a problem. It's always been challenging. You have to go back to the drawing board every time. Yes, and you have to do it respectfully, because getting them is hard.
Yeah. I like how you said you have to do it respectfully. Yeah, because here on this continent, or in this country especially, respect is a big deal. Like it is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah, that is like, before I even ask my next question. I mean, Judah knows the story where last year, one of the people we featured on our entrepreneurs with disability film, that is abilities. Because of the film, someone from US saw this particular entrepreneur who makes shoes, and she was excited that what the shoes the guy is making is good. So I would like him to make this specific shoe, and then send the specs, the design that they wanted. And this person was like, "I'm gonna do this," and then because I also have a certain taste, and I know the taste that people abroad would want. I wanted to make sure this guy did it in this particular, but unfortunately the guy didn't listen to me. He just went, even though I did my best to bring him the right people to help him do the shoes. He went and did his own thing at Cantamanto. Oh my goodness, the guy messed up the shoe.
Yeah, that's a
When I saw the shoe, my heart sunk. I was so sad. I was like, how do we take this to US? You know?
That's a story. That's a story of most shoemakers in Ghana.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He
the
wouldn't
beginning.
listen. I actually, even at a point, I called him, I was like, Charlie, there's this guy who can do the embroidery in a really beautiful way. He has all the machines. Don't take it anywhere. Bring it. The guy didn't listen, and then he went and did some
So do you know what
horrible.
they did? They took the leather, did embroidery on it, and then glued the leather on the shoe.
Shoe.
So now you can see that this was just like a patchwork.
Okay.
Instead of
Yeah.
yeah,
It looked horrible.
it was crazy.
The finesse wasn't that,
Yeah,
class.
like
Like
they
you
didn't
could
pay
see
attention
certain
to detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, definitely that was some of the challenges that
Attention to detail
attention
is
to
zero.
Yeah.
Zero in
Yeah.
Ghana.
Yeah.
Like all they want to see is, oh, you wanted a shoe, I've gotten you a shoe. That's it.
Yeah.
The fine details is non-existent. That's a problem.
Yeah, so that's the question. So how do you deal with getting them to appreciate those fine details, the design and everything that you
Yeah,
have?
so what I think one thing I'm blessed with is patience. So I keep going back. This is what we did at the time. I make sure I'm not angry. These things, I see every wrong turn as a learning curve. So I just go back. This is what we should have done. People are complaining. And because of their ego, you have to massage the ego to make sure it turns out the way you want it to turn out. Like I said, you go back and sometimes I go on the internet, find pictures, find videos myself of people making shoes. Like, you see, this is what they did, this is how it turned out. This is what I think should be done. So reluctantly they try and it turns out good. You see, then I tell them, you see, it turned out well. And then they all get to learn and then they notice there's no ego here. I'm not trying to show you your job. I'm just telling you how I think it could be done.
Yeah.
And it's about communication. Like, it's communication telling you, oh, I think this could be done this way, this could be done that way. So gradually they've warmed up to the idea that I don't make shoes, or I am not your traditional shoemaker, but I have ideas.
Wow.
So
Nice.
that's how they've gotten warmed up to the idea that Charlie.
So with these clients, guys, did you actually go to Kumasi yourself to handpick them, or is it from the same people you were working with when you started?
Yeah, so there's a story. I had orders for shoes for a wedding. So that was when I used to make the shoes at Kumasi.
Yeah.
And then, say the wedding was supposed to be on a Saturday. We had paid for these shoes, bought leather, given everything to this guy. Can you believe on Saturday, my brother had to go borrow shoes in Takrade, in Tech, for the entire bridal team because the shoes weren't ready.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just thought of getting so there was an apprentice there who had learnt enough.
Yeah.
So I spoke to him in the back and got him to get somebody, and then I got those boys. So those were cheaper compared to the masters. So I got them to come to Accra. And because, you see, with them it was easier because they just graduated. So it's easier for him to listen to you than a master.
Yes.
You get it? So that's how I got these sets
So
of
you poached them.
I poached them.
That's good. Yeah. Oh man. Charlie, that I couldn't imagine myself. I mean, there have been situations like that. I can imagine like supposed to deliver, and then on that day it's still not ready, and then you had to like find like it's a wedding shoe, Judah. Like the wedding shoe, you don't want to mess up with the wedding shoes.
You
Like,
cannot wear bags.
You can wear slippers in there.
man, I can't imagine the pressure on you that
Yeah,
day.
yeah, crazy.
Oh my
crazy.
goodness.
Crazy.
Yeah. But that is good because for me that's also been my biggest challenge and my biggest prayer is finding the right team to work with. People who understand the vision, people who would will be like, yeah, we can do it. Even if when we think it's challenging, but like, yeah, we can do it. Let's do it this way. We can go this way, this way, like, and that kind of thing. And even when everything's not going that smooth, they'll be like, those will be there. So I think like I'm happy to know you still have them. How long have you
Yes.
had your team so far?
So we've had them for in most parts from 2010 we were doing them from Kumasi. So we've had them for I think half of that 6 years, close to 6 years.
Wow.
Nice,
Yeah, close to
nice.
6 years.
That's really
So
beautiful.
even though they are, you see, like I said, we are reshaping things.
Yeah.
So they've gone back. We are still in touch. We make shoes as and when there's an order. We still make shoes.
Okay.
Yeah, with them, even though they are not. They used to be
Residents in Accra. Yeah.
Accra, but they've gone back because we have to.
Yeah, let's talk about that reshaping. So, like you mentioned earlier, we'll get into the shoes very soon.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned earlier, off record, that you are reshaping things within the company itself. We are doing a whole lot of stuff. Can you share with us like what
Okay,
you're doing?
so we yearn to be bigger. We yearn to be better. So back then we used to sell on social media, primarily on social media. So I did this talk at Webster University, and everybody keeps asking me for a showroom. Everybody wants to come to a place where they can experience all the shoes at the same time, so they can pick. So I decided to give an experience, set up a showroom, a very comfortable one. It's all from my pocket, so it's been a bit slow. But there's a showroom, and we are building a bigger workshop where we can get, like I said, we are going to get into bags, into clothes. So we need a bigger space to accommodate all that and the machinery that will make all that happen.
Yeah.
So that's where we
That's
are now.
good, man. That's good. That's good. I'm happy to hear that the idea and the business itself is growing. So when do we hope to see operations of the new?
So hopefully by July there will be a grand launch.
Woo!
Yeah,
Man.
We're coming for the party.
Yeah, I think I need to make my shoe before that time. I'm hoping I could get my shoe before that time.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so I could, okay, that's good. Now let's get into the shoes.
Yeah.
Man, I like your shoes, like the style, like the design.
Thank you.
Where do those ideas come from? Like,
So we're inspired by everyone, everyone. We are inspired by the local stuff. We are inspired by tradition. That's why we maintain the name Mensah-Aborampah. Yeah, so we are inspired by. I think anything that can be done there can be done here as well.
I mean, done abroad.
Abroad can be done here as well with the materials we have. Yes, so that's where the inspiration mostly from God, maybe. Yeah, mostly from God. But basically, everything inspires me. Everything inspires me. I see a Nike. I think we won't copy that, but I think we could make this model better. So we tweak it, try. I get on paper, draw something else other than what I've seen. Try being innovative. So basically, that's where the ideas have come from. Mostly existing things, and then it's risen from there.
Yeah, I've seen some of the drawings or your shoes. So you draw them and give them to your
The boys too.
Okay.
So I cut out that. So what I do is I go as far as drawing them on the last.
All right.
So drawing the designs on it. They know I don't know how to work the machine, but I could cut out a pattern and everything else. With the machine, it comes with control. I haven't mastered that yet. But with everything else, I draw it on the last and make sure it's as I want it. Yes.
So
and then they
I
take
remember when we were having a conversation and we were going through the shoes, there was one you said it was a prototype, which you did it from scratch, hand sewn, the whole thing.
Yeah, so the whole thing with these voices, when you get them here, like I said, they have their own idea of how things are done.
Yeah.
And when you show them, it's always a problem. So this.
And when you show them new ideas,
it's always a problem because that's not what they know.
Give them sleepless nights.
Yeah, that's what they know. And you can't grow. I think things could be better.
Yeah.
Even though we are in Ghana, things could be better. So what I do is, for crying out loud, I'm not a shoemaker. All I know how to do is design. So what I do is I painstakingly design the shoes, and let it come out. So I sew with my hand because I can't do it. So if I've been able to do it with my hand, you have no excuse. Because you're actually working a machine. Yes, and I'm designing the shoe. I'm showing you how it ought to be done.
And even give you a prototype
to look at. So that's how you see. That's how I've gotten them to move away from the ego and then the reluctantness to do things a certain way. So it's helped. So with all shoes that are not like the normal shoes you see, it's because I have had to do it myself and then show them that I think we can do this because this is how
like your
my
sneakers.
like my sneakers.
Yeah, because I've seen the sneakers and man, I love it. They have this classic look. This classic look, and I feel like those shoes that you can have and rock it in your closet, like they will still make sense after 5 years.
I really pray and hope it gets into production. I mean, you said it's still a prototype.
Yes.
I'm still waiting because I'm still waiting for the sneakers.
They'll definitely come.
So now the business aspect of it, like how is patronization, like how you market and how you selling like your shoes. Like.
So it's been good because people still have positive. I get positive feedback for our shoes from people who bought it like from 5 years ago, because yes, the quality is good, and patronage is very good. This year, because we've been on break, I'm still getting calls for shoes. There are still messages on Instagram I haven't replied because because I keep postponing the launch date. Now we are sure of July. We are sure of July, but it's been good. It's been good. It's not been. It's because of the kind of person I am. It's not been as profitable as I want it to be because I'm a perfectionist. There are shoes I have given out for free because they didn't turn out the way I want. And I don't think it's right because there are shoes, people don't see anything wrong with them, but there are shoes I wouldn't want to wear. So I don't see a point in selling them just for the principle. So there are shoes I've had. So that's where we've had issues. We've given out more shoes than we've sold.
It is what it's. I mean, it's gonna. I'm sure it's gonna get better. Like,
so there's a plan now to invest in research and development. So we are going to, if you're going to pick a shoe, we are going to make sure it turns out as good as any showroom would take before we produce it. So the plan is these boys take a commission per shoe. So the plan is to pay them a month, so that regardless of how many shoes we make, you're going to get your money. So that they move away from the
to make many shoes
mentality. So there are certain months I have told them there are months we are not going to make shoes. We are just going to make sure we perfect shoes. Because that's what has been my problem. There are shoes I just, people don't see it, but you see, when you see them you think they're okay, but I think they could have been better. So that's how I intend turning around that story.
That's beautiful.
And how's marketing been?
So it's been mostly social media and the testimony of customers.
Okay.
But it's been good. It's been good. If there's anything, it would have been me not delivering because of my perfectionist. That's what the problem has been. Otherwise, yes, it's been good. It's been very good.
That's beautiful. That's amazing to know. So just to know, do you know your competitors in this country, and how are you? What are you different from your competitors, and how do you hope to like be on top, or do you hope to be on top even?
Oh yes. we the dream is to be the biggest clothing line out of Africa. So we are looking at Zara, Amasio Ortega. He's an inspiration. So we are looking at something like that model. I'm studying his model. We hope to turn things around looking at him. We know our competition, and truth is, we are the first shoemaking company in Ghana to make sneakers. And I know those making sneakers now who copied my shoes, because we sat in a this fair with them.
Yeah, and then show them how to make it.
No, they were opposite to my stand. he came.
Shots fired, guys.
I
Shots
won't mention the name, but
Shots fired.
he picked my shoes, looked at them. Months later, we saw
Wow.
we saw him producing sneakers, but that's okay. It inspires creativity.
Yeah, it inspires creativity.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. there are more ideas where that came from.
Right.
Yes.
For someone to copy that means, man, you're doing something right.
Well, they have some of our female shoes. We've seen them copying that.
Yeah.
But we are good. We are good with that.
I like the female shoes. The design are really beautiful.
We are good with that. Some of the female brogues, we see them copying them. We see them, but we are good. Good.
Oh man, that's the. So for those watching out of this country, out of this continent, that's the thing with Ghana is, Charlie. So listen, I moved to East Legon. The first year I moved to East Legon, so one woman was selling bees. Now the whole street, all the women were selling bees. when the woman moved to sell cocoa, everybody on it's like
the pure water system.
It's like everybody copies like business. Like one person's opening the provision store, and then now everybody it's like there's no new ideas that anybody's gets. Everybody's copying. So yeah, it's definitely
sometimes it's good because then it helps
competition.
Competition helps because then somebody has to reduce their prices.
Or you have to be better at what you're doing.
Yeah, customer service.
Yeah, I think China is what it is because of that kind of competition.
That's
we won't fault them. We have plenty where that came from. God has been good.
That's nice. I like that.
But still, shots fired. Guys.
man, Charlie, thanks so much. That's been such an inspiration. Like, is it 12 years going now, and you guys are still like building on the brand and trying to make things even better. And I'm excited even more because of the showroom. Like, I really would like to come there. I'm hoping to see the place even before it opens because I want to come and make my shoe there.
Definitely.
For me, I'm excited because you want to spend more money and time on researching. Because I don't see a lot of businesses here. I keep telling him, I don't think we really research that much in Ghana. Because if not, then we should be able to be giving updates and be improving things. Like by this time, the way we make our roads should be better than they were.
It's because we think of the money. You see, for me, the business is, like I said, it's never been about the money. Otherwise, I would have quit. Because, like I said, I'm doing law. I have a okay paying job. So it's about somebody wearing something I have created. Basically, that's the first thing. So I should be proud of every product that comes out of that workshop. So that's what it's about. Churning out the product that I can proudly say is mine. So basically that's what motivates me.
And then you know that like with that mindset, even though like money is not the motivation, like eventually like you're being chased, like money keeps chasing you, like people because they know like the kind of shoes, you know, like because I mean, it wasn't because I knew you were coming for this particular podcast recording, but it just kind of popped up on my YouTube, and I was watching this shoemaking company from UK, and they're making shoes like since the 50s or even before that time, like really long time ago, and like they still make limited shoes because they make shoes all by hand, like completely by hand up to today. And the guy was saying that the way they used to make shoes in those days, he says even if someone from the early 20th century, right, come today, should be alive today, they'll still be able to make shoes in their workshop because the same way they make shoes,
same tools,
same tools, everything. That's how they make it, and then they're really making such a finish. One shoe could cost like £12,000 or $12,000. That kind of, and then it's like making. So for them, the goal has not been of the money or anything, but making something really fine, really great that fits the individual, and then because of the people are paying more to make their shoes, you know, there. And for me, like I think I was very.
I think that's what our local producers of products don't really think about. Because at first I used to be like, why wouldn't you buy from Ghana? Why would you buy designer bag or something else? But when you look at the quality, when you look at even, like, let's not even talk about the resale value of it. When you look at the quality, when you cut it open and you look at what goes into it, it's not your 2x4 glue that you just put together and just put it out there. So, because for me, when you said, if you're not going to wear it, like if you don't feel comfortable wearing it, why should you sell it? I'm like, wow, that is the mentality we need. It's not just putting out products, it is putting out quality products because they represent you and your brand and your brain and your personality. So, man, it's been really, really amazing. It's really amazing hearing you here. Thanks, and
you've really inspired us, and
really sparked some.
I'm really hoping our audience and the community is also being inspired by this. Like, it's, I'm sure. Sorry, I think I have not really asked this question, but I was gonna say I'm sure you've had really challenges. So you've mentioned, I think you've mentioned a few of them, but what has been some of your biggest challenge actually building this brand?
Okay, so it's mostly a production challenge. Like I said, you hope to make profit when you start a business. You hope to make profit, and I have a perfectionist mentality where I need this thing to be perfect before I sell it. And I'm the kind of leader who is a bit liberal too, so I'm not too hard on the boys. Yes, but it's been a perfect challenge. Say shoes come out, these boys take money for the shoes made because in Kumasi or wherever they are, that shoe will pass for at any price they want to sell it. But here you come to Accra and you're going to tell them this shoe is not good enough. They have a problem with it. So they will take the money, all right. But then I don't sell the shoe because I see I have a problem selling it. So that's what the challenge has been.
It doesn't fit your specification.
It doesn't. So I end up giving it out. I've given more shoes out than I've sold. So that's what the problem has been.
So far the challenge has been the profit side.
The profit side of it.
And which you
I've had to pump in more money and not seen too much profit as I ought to have seen.
Wow. I'm really hoping as you develop it and relaunch in July with all the research and everything, getting into it, you'll be like, you'll be moving beyond you'll be moving beyond losing to breaking even and even making profit.
Because when I was part of the startup back in the day, they always say when you after 10 years, then that is when, because during the first 5 years, 10 years, you're still trying to look at where the faults are with the engine and trying to perfect the engine. But after 10 years, man, now you know where the faults are. So I'm happy hearing you say it's been production and you know where the fault is and you want to spend money on research, on making sure that your guys are also giving you the right, how do you call it? They turn the idea into reality, making sure that everything is up to standard. And man, so for the next 5 years, you do wonders.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to your shoes being worn all over the world.
And for me, I'm still waiting for the fashion show where I will see M.A. on the runway.
Most definitely.
And I want to be a model. Like, for me, just the sneakers. Knowing that I can also get to keep. I see the producer raising his hands. He raising his hands. He wants also to wear a sneaker.
Most definitely.
You model for you and keep the sneakers.
Most definitely.
If that's this thing, the contract,
most
sign it.
Most definitely.
Definitely. Yo, Charlie. So it's been a wonderful conversation. It's been an inspiring one. It's been a fun one too. Really. And thanks for sticking around watching this video, or those of you listening on the Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify. Thanks so much. So we've had in the studio here Paakwesi Mensah-Aborampah, or as we call him, KC. And then he's a shoe designer, he's a shoemaker, he's an entrepreneur, and then a lawyer to be soon. And his brand is M.A. Clothing Worldwide. And it's been a wonderful conversation. He shared with us the history behind his shoes or his clothing company. He's an artist. I mean, it runs in the genes. And he's like if you are interested in any of the shoes that he's making or interested in his brand, we'll put a link below. But for those of you who want to check it out on Instagram, it is MA
underscore world MA underscore shoes dot worldwide.
MA underscore shoes dot
worldwide.
worldwide. So if you want to check him out, we'll put a link in the description as well. Check him out. He's an amazing person. I mean, he makes amazing shoes. He himself is an amazing person. If you are listening and you've not seen his face, he's a fresh man. He smiles so much. He's been smiling the whole time.
Yo, he's married. Man.
I know he's married. I know.
I'm just saying. On this note, like, share, subscribe. Share this with your friends.
And share it with the community. We're building a community of young entrepreneurs, young artists who are inspiring, who are encouraging us. And like we always say,
let's make Africa great again. Peace.